So students, now let's discuss this question. It was asked in computer science gate exam in year 2000. I have not written the complete question because I don't have enough space here, but you can definitely go download this paper and just see this question, complete question. But I have written the main gist, right? So what this question is asking, so it's saying that G is an undirected graph. Now remember, it's not a directed graph, it's an undirected graph. Edge U comma V or V comma U are same thing, right? There is no direction associated with the edge. Now it's saying that T is the DFS tree of G. So what is the DFS tree basically? When you perform a DFS traversal on a graph, the tree which you obtain is a spanning tree, and if you perform a DFS, then it's a DFS tree. Otherwise, if you perform breadth first search or BFS, then it's a BFS tree. So the point is that basically he's running a DFS onto this graph, right? Now he's saying that V, the first new unvisited vertex after visiting U. So definitely once you visit U, you are visiting a vertex U, and immediately after it, the next vertex being visited is V. And V is also being visited for the first time, right? So it's something like this. You can just imagine now, like if there is a vertex U, then there is a vertex V, and after U is visited, you are visiting V, and that too for the first time. So the only one configuration which comes into your mind, it will be like this, right? And you are, coming from here, right? And then after visiting U, you will visit V, right? So let's see what he's asking. He's asking that which of the following statements is correct, right? So let's read this statement. So first is like U comma V must be an edge. Now remember, that's why I highlighted it, underlined it. Must be an edge in G, and U is descendant of V, right? So what we can see that if this is a graph and this was a complete graph, this was a G, and you were like doing DFS traversal on it, and then finally from somewhere you reached onto U, and then you went to V, right? So definitely it seems that V is the descendant of U rather than otherwise opposite, right? So definitely U cannot be descendant of V, because in that case V would have been visited first, right? But in question say that U is visited and V is visited after visiting U. So definitely this is wrong. This is definitely going to be wrong. Now this seems to be correct, right? So in a normal, if you have a just enough basic knowledge of DFS, you will feel okay, this statement seems to be correct. So this is one of the correct options, and there is a positive of time. You will mark this correct and move forward. But then again, see, this is the beauty of this question. It tests your knowledge of basically DFS, and this shows, if you mark this, that you have a shallow knowledge of DFS. You know DFS, but not complete how that algorithm works. See, now let's move to this C option. It says that if, not saying that U comma V has to be an edge. It is saying that if it's not an edge, then U is a leaf, right? So let's imagine a scenario. For example, U is here and V is there, and U is visited first, and immediately after V is visited. So how is this possible? This is possible only in this way. So for example, this configuration is something like this, right? And you have been, coming from here. So you will visit this node. After then you will visit U, right? There is nothing more to explore. You will backtrack. This node is already visited. You will go to V. And immediately after U, you are visiting V, which has not been visited so far. So this perfectly matches this description, right? So this case is also possible. So this again shows that why these two options were wrong here, right? Because there might be a case when U comma V is not an edge, right? Okay. And the first part in both these statements, they are same, that if U comma V is not an edge, if U comma V is not an edge, then it says here that U is a leaf in T. Okay, fine. From all this configuration, it seems that this is correct. So also, in these type of questions, to solve this question, you just sometimes you need to take a particular scenario in which a particular statement will not fit, right? Then you can clearly say that, okay, this is not an option. You just unselect it, right? So by by the logic of elimination, you have to reach to the answer, because see, the time is also an issue, right? So you have to imagine some scenario in which this statement will fit or will not fit, right? So if you imagine this case, this seems to be correct, right? In this, U is the leaf node, right? Because if there would have some node here, right, some node here, then this node would have visited before visiting V, but it says that V is visited immediately after U. So this doesn't seem to be an option, right? So C therefore seems to be so far the most appropriate option. Now let's explore D also, and if we somehow could make D wrong, then definitely C will be correct. Now D is saying that U and V must have the same parent, right? So this is the particular case. So these two have the same parent, but it is saying must. Must means this is the only case. There could be no other case, right? So if you assume this is the only case, then we have two statements correct. But can there be any other case which in which this statement will be false? Just think over it. And here they are basically they are checking your true knowledge of DFS. That how well you know the DFS. This is the beauty of this question. So for example, if I make this case, just pay close attention. See, you are coming on a DFS traversal from here, this node, then you visited this node, then there is U, nothing to explore, you go back, nothing to explore, you go back, and then you come to me. This is a perfect case, right? Because this case will perfectly match the condition given here, right? But in this case, the parent of U is this node, let's say X, and the parent of V is this node, Y, right? So we have found a case in which this doesn't hold true, right? So this statement, this was wrong, these have also become wrong. So the only correct option is this, right? So it took me this much time because I need to explain the concept to you behind this answer before arriving at the solution. But if you are doing it on your own, it would take less than a minute. It was an easy question if you are clear with the concepts of DFS. Thank you.